What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer. This time between the Drekker Brewing Company, and they're out of Fargo, North Dakota, and the Brewing Projekt, and they're out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and this is their Everybody Love Everybody. So they're calling this one a Rainbow Sherbet Sour that comes in at 7.1% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is approximately 3.5 months old. So when it comes to desserts, Rainbow Sherbet is definitely up there with key lime pie for me, carrot cake, German chocolate cake. And when I see beers that are trying to replicate those flavors in beer form, I usually pick them up. So that is why I grabbed this one. Plus, I've never had anything from the Brewing Projekt off the top of my head. Maybe I've had a collab with other breweries in the past. So Drekker, the Brewing Projekt, Rainbow Sherbet Sour, sign me up. Now, what I like about Drekker is they list the ingredients on the label. So a malt in this is PaTroll, oats, and carafoam. Hops are Huel melon. Flora is lactobacillus culture and house ale yeast. Gimmicks, and again, I love that they call them gimmicks: lemon, lime, orange, cherry, raspberry, guava, marshmallows, lactose, and vanilla beans. So yeah, I am here for it. Let's crack it open and get in the glass and see what we got going on. I did roll this one. I keep these upside down in my fridge, but I did roll this right before I turned on the camera. So I think we should be good. The reason why I try not to crack these open, because it usually goes everywhere with these heavily fruited sours. So I don't want that to happen. Anyway, we're gonna give it a pour here. Yeah, it's looking beautiful. And I'm gonna pour this entire thing into the glass, so I don't have to worry too much about, half of it being gross and the other half, not like, there's a lot of times where, like, if you don't properly roll them and you only pour in like half or a third of the beer, a lot of times you'll be like, oh, that beer looks like it's, thin and watery, and then you pour in the rest, the bottom where all the puree is, and you're like, oh, okay, I messed up. I've done that plenty of times in reviews. Anyway, that looks disgusting. It looks like a bunch of different fruit purees mixed up in a glass, and that's exactly what it is. It has the pectin, the puree sticking to the sides of the glass. Had a finger of this like lightly pink colored head that is dissipated to a thin film because of all the adjuncts. Hold it up to the light and you can't see anything through that. It's murky, it's turbid, it's the whole nine. But yeah, that does not have a very appeasing color, but a lot of times these don't, because you're mixing a bunch of different fruit purees and you get weird colors, and it is what it is. So let's get a nose. Ooh. Oh, that smells awesome. First thing I am getting right off the rip is like a raspberry lime or like a strawberry lime. I would say more like maybe a cherry, like a cherry limeade from like Sonic or something in that realm. That's what I'm getting. It's definitely either cherry or some kind of red berry with a huge blast of lime. Oh yeah. Or like those Luigi's Italian ices. They have the different, like the lemon ones, the cherry ones. It's like if you took a lemon and a cherry one and combined it. There's a little hint of like a vanilla or marshmallow, kind of giving me, ice cream vibes or sherbet vibes to some degree. Would I say this smells exactly like Rainbow Sherbet? To some degree, it smells a little bit like it, but I wouldn't, if I was doing this blind, there's no way I'd be like, oh, that's what they're totally going for. But it smells awesome. I'm pretty much getting lemon, I'm getting lime, I'm getting cherry, I'd say raspberry, and then a little bit of marshmallow and vanilla, and I forget what's in here. What else am I not getting? The orange, kind of lost. The guava. And a lot of times when guava is used in these heavily fruited sours, I usually can pick up on that like instantly. Not getting that here. Now as I start to smell more, yeah, it's kind of like Rainbow Sherbet. That's crazy how it just opened up like that. Yeah, it smells pretty good, making my mouth water. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Yeah. A couple things I appreciate about this one right off the rip. It's not crazy sweet. And the fact that it has more, or like even citrus fruit on the guava, fruits that aren't really sickly sweet, I think works extremely well for something like this. However, Rainbow Sherbet is sweet. Rainbow Sherbet does have a sweetness to it. And I think while this has a little bit of sweetness, it's slightly unbalanced for that. For this specifically, Rainbow Sherbet Sour, a little bit unbalanced. That said, I'm really enjoying it. Buying this is not crazy thick. This is like medium full body. So it's not like, smoothie-esque or like slushy-esque, but it does have a heft to it, which is nice. But I like that they kind of like toned it down. It's a little, this sounds weird to say a medium full body beer is watery, but watery for what a lot of these beers are. And I'm okay with that. The mouthfeel, Decent carbonation, I'd say mild to moderately carbonated, more approaching moderate carbonation, but it does have a nice, smooth, kind of creamy sensation to it. Yeah, a couple things really helping this beer. It's not that sweet, and this is a very dry. So right up front, tons of citrus. I would say mostly, for me, it's lemon lime. There is a little bit probably of orange that I'm tasting, but I can't. If I was doing blind, I would not say orange, I'd say lemon lime. A little bit of orange, and that guava is giving me like a slight acidic feel on the palate in general. As it passes through the palate, mid-palate, I get cherry and I get raspberry. And it's a nice blend. And that's where I start getting that, again, cherry limeade vibe, something in that realm where like the Luigi's, like I said, Italian ice is that if you took the cherry and the lemon and just kind of mix it together, throw all that in a bowl and just go to town on it, right? It's not giving me exactly what I'd want from a Rainbow Sherbet Sour, but it's really still quite delicious. The second half of the palate is where, again, this beer really dries out. This is full on dry to me. There is a residual kind of acidic feel in the back of the palate. This is firmly tart into low sourness. So I've talked about this in so many of these heavily fruited, smoothie, slushy, sour beer reviews, that I need some kind of balance, or the sweetness is what gets me on a lot of these. The sweetness is not getting me here at all. And I do really thank that. That's kind of like the hero of the beer, is that firm dryness, because it really makes this more drinkable. That said, for everything that's in here, it's not overly complex. Again, I'm getting that lemon lime, the raspberry, the cherry, maybe underlying like vanilla and marshmallow kind of tinges. But I wouldn't say this necessarily nails Rainbow Sherbet, but it comes close. And what I'm tasting, if I was doing this blind, I'd be like, this is some kind of raspberry or cherry limeade, heavily fruited sour. That's what I would guess, personally. But it's in that realm of that Rainbow Sherbet. And again, as I just took that sip, a little bit more of that vanilla and marshmallow starting to come through. So maybe if I let this open up in the glass for another 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'd get more Rainbow Sherbet. It is what it is, though. I think this is really good. It's not mind-blowing, but it's a damn good collaboration. And I love the theme. I love everything going on here. And I'm happy I was able to try it. So I'm happy that it's not too sweet. It has a firm dryness. It's not overly acidic or like overly sour or tart. I know a lot of you out there say that the one issue you have with these beers, like I have the issue with the sweetness. A lot of you say a lot of times it's too acidic, too sour. You get a heartburn, right? I don't think that's going to be an issue for me with this beer, but it could be by the time I drink the rest of that. But it is what it is. These beers, a lot of times, you will get the heartburn. It will be a little bit too acidic. It will be sometimes too sweet. It all depends. I think this is pretty well balanced overall. I just don't think it necessarily nails the Rainbow Sherbet Sour flavor, but it comes close. So Drekker and the Brewing Projekt, they're everybody love everybody. I'm going to give this a high 4.25 out of 5. I'm going to go 4.3 out of 5. I think this is damn tasty, and I'd have no issues drinking this one. And I'm going to drink the rest of this, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I think this is something they release every single year. So kudos to them for this beer. Really a good beer. Now, price point. These typically Drekker beers in my neighborhood here, Drekker in my area, they usually go anywhere between $6 to $8 a can, depending on the beer. This one was, I think, $7.49 for the can, a little bit pricey to the higher side of what I like to pay. But for a collaboration, the fact that they're doing, trying to mimic a dessert that I enjoy. I love Rainbow Sherbet, any kind of sherbet, honestly, I do enjoy. It's worth trying. Would I pay this again at almost $8? Probably not. There's probably better heavily fruited sours out there for the price point, but I'd say if you're curious about this one, definitely give it a go. And availability, Drekker gets into, I think it's like 16, maybe 20 different states at this point. They're probably on a bunch of online websites, whether it's Tavor or Craft Shack or Halftime Beverage or whatever the case may be. Maybe you can even buy directly from their website. I don't know, but Drekker definitely gets pretty good distribution at this point, more so than they did, say, 2 years ago. So if you do get Drekker in your neck of the woods, you probably should see this, or you should have already seen this because this was released back, I think, in early August. So anyway, if you've had this one before, because I know they released this one in prior years, like I said, I'm pretty sure they release it every summer. If you've had this one before, whether it's a prior release or this year's release, what did you think about it? You think they nailed the Rainbow Sherbet flavor? What did you get out of this? Did you think it was too acidic, too sweet, too sour? Did you think it was beautifully balanced? Because I think it's a pretty good a beer overall, and I'm going to drink the rest of it, enjoy every second of it. 7.1%, a little bit of warming in chest, nothing else going on. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.